Welcome to How to Become a Production SQL Database Administrator. My name is Raphael. In the previous video, we were looking at the update statement and the delete statement, and we got into a snag because of what's called a foreign key and primary key. And I wasn't able to demonstrate to you the update statement or the consequences of doing an update statement without the where clause and the consequences of doing a delete statement without the where clause. So I want to kind of repeat that so you have an idea, so it's not left in the limbo here. Here, as you can see, if I do the execute this is the table that we were working with. And what I was trying to illustrate to you is that if you did an update statement for that table and setting sales name in that column called name to sales, and if you executed this without using a where clause, then everything would be updated to sales. And then we got into this little problem here. Same thing with the delete statement. So basically, I want to correct that right now and show you how it works. Now, you would not do this in a production environment, but again, this shows you how you can manipulate data also. So what I'm going to do to a couple of things here is I'm going to go here, design, and basically it's got a what's called a foreign key. So I'm going to actually just remove that key. You would not do this in a production environment. So take a note of that, but that's the reason it's causing it. So I'm going to do that. And the other thing is I'm going to remove what's called the indexing. And again, let me remove this. Let's delete that. And actually delete this also. We don't need it. Or actually, we can't even do it because it's already done. So now, if you'll notice here that if I refresh this, the key is gone. So now if I select this, we can still do a select statement. And now, to illustrate the point of updating without a where clause. So ordinarily, I told you when you do an update, you must use the where clause, or otherwise everything here will get updated to whatever you're updating. So if I do run the update statement now and execute it and look at the select statement, you'll notice that everything here is being updated still. And this is garbage, what's called garbage data now, and it can't be used. So you'll have to restore the database from the back or restore a specific table if you've got that. So this is very important that you use a where clause. So now, what about the delete? The delete statement is as important as the update statement, that you have to have a where clause. If I executed this, then everything here would be deleted. But we only want to delete specified data. So in this particular case, I'm giving an example of saying, go to this table, go to this group name column, and wherever you see research and development, I want you to delete it because that's what the where clause does. So now if I execute this, remember we've got 16 rows, research and development. If I execute this, we've got 3 rows affected. So now if I highlight this, we should have 13, which we do. So anything with group name research and development has been deleted. So I just wanted to point that out, not to leave it in limbo as we did previously. Now, obviously here, what would you do if you had this thing? You would have to actually restore the database again. So actually, let me do that. So someone makes an error of doing this, and you shouldn't be able to do it because, again, in terms of SQL management, you would have securities allowing a user to do certain things, and it's controlled exactly by you as a DBA, which would prevent him to do that. But let's say even you did it by accident, and now you want to restore the database. So what you would do actually is restore the database. You can go right-click, restore the database. And remember, we already have a database backup of the most current backups. And while I don't want to get into the backup and procedures, suffice to say we have a copy at this point of the original, and go OK. And at this point, I would go here, options, and overwrite, or what's called replace. And as soon as I do this, you'll see that it's updating here and it's restoring a database. So it'll just take a few seconds to restore the database, and if everything, it may not because I've got it opened actually. When you have a script against a database, it will not do it. So that's why it takes too long. So let me close that, or close it, and see that's why it's doing. So actually we need to be out of it now. So let's close it. Now you're in the database. So you can't be in the database when you're restoring a database. Or you could do the other way. So let's actually, let's do this. Let's delete this database. Make it left and close all the connections because there was a connection, and now we don't have it. So remember, the department table had all sales. I'm going to restore the database. This is exactly the same thing we did from the start, is to restore a data. As long as you have a fully backup database of the most current data, you can always go back. And this is something critical in a DBA job, and we'll be discussing this more in depth in the courses. So now if I go back here and department and do the top 1,000, you'll notice that we're back to the original state we were. So I just wanted to point that out and not leave it, as I said, in limbo, so you have an understanding of updated state. The other thing I want to point out here now is, if you'll notice here, if I minimize this, and if I go to Window R and go Notepad, let's say I've got, and now I'm going to actually minimize this and bring it here. There are a lot of times, as you know, this is your VM, as you know. There are a lot of times when you're going to need to bring in data from your desktop to laptop, your VM. For example, if I click on this, and this is some data that I've gotten here. Suppose I want to copy this and paste it here. If I do that, I can't do it. I've only got the most current clipboard here. So how do you resolve the clipboard that you can copy paste from your desktop? There's a lot of times you want to actually copy some text from here to here. How can you do that? Well, the way you do that is as follows. On your manager, go to your manager or VM, select the appropriate virtual machine, go to General, go to Advanced, and here you can see Shared Clipboard. It's disabled by default, so we want to go bi-directional, meaning you can do it either way. Drag and drop apparently doesn't work for Windows, so that's fine. So now that we can do that, so remember I couldn't do it if I pasted, I got something that was originally in that clipboard. Now if I go to my desktop, copy, and right click and paste, you'll notice it does allow you to copy. So that's a great feature to have in order for you to copy paste from your source, your host, to your virtual machine. So I think that's a great thing to know. So make sure you actually do that. You'll find it's extremely beneficial to you. So I think I'll leave it here. The next video I'm going to just wrap it up. I think I've covered everything I wanted to do. This particular document, the ultimate guide in becoming an SQL DBA, will be provided for you, and with all these and all these videos. And I think I've covered, and now obviously you're going to have all these links to download all the free and trial basis data. So I think I've given you everything. One thing I do want to repeat here, since I am going to close this, as I mentioned, if you go to udemy.com and type in Raf Uzgur, you can see all my courses here. Let me just pause this for a second because there's a couple of things I don't want to see. And actually, here it is. So if you go to the Raf Academy and type in Raf Uzgur, you can see all my courses that allow you to become a database administrator. So get all the SQL administration full courses, in-depth courses to become an SQL. Take them in this order. Now, the order is important also, to take them in this order. They're designed specifically to be taken. If you would decide to take all of them, take Learn T-SQL first, then SQL Administration Part 1, 2, and 3, followed by Reporting Services Part 1, then followed by Integration, then followed by Reporting Part 2. And these two I'm still in the process of making, but you don't need to worry about those yet. And that's fine. If you do need coupons, which are $15 a piece, or if you have any issues, then you can email me, or you can use an instant message on Udemy to contact me, and I'll be more than happy to help you. Now, take note that this is just a evaluation, so if you want to rate it, that's fine. But I would highly recommend that you rate the actual courses rather than this free course that I'm providing for you. But I think to wrap it up, I think this will give you a quick introduction of what is necessary to becoming a production SQL database administrator. So I'll just leave it here, and we'll continue with the upcoming videos. So my name is Raphael, and this is how to become a production SQL database administrator. Hope you enjoyed it. Bye.